What's going on, guys? I'm in Advantage and welcome back to another NHL 23 video. There's a lot that's new this year in NHL 23, including some new synergies and some changes to the existing ones. In today's video, we're gonna go over all the changes and which ones I recommend that you activate on your squad. Without any further ado, let's get right on into it. One of my favorite things about the NHL franchise is team building, and it's not just your players, not just your ability limits, but it's also, and has been for quite some time now, your synergies. Now, there's a few new ones here. As you can see, I'm close on some of these, but close only counts in horseshoes. It does not activate some of the bonuses you see here on screen. Also new this year in NHL 23, there's a few changes to some of the existing ones, as well as some new synergies like Dangle City. So in today's video, we're going to be diving into which one of these you should look to activate when building out your team. If you happen to be looking for a full rundown on what the synergies are and what they do, click over here under your My Team tab in Hockey Ultimate Team under Manage Lineups and go down to Synergy Glossary. Just like in NHL 22, there are no longer team synergies that activate for your entire squad. However, these are all going to be activated on the players that have them underneath their cards. So the new one that we have this year is Dangle City. +3 to deking, +2 to discipline, hand-eye, and slapshot accuracy. I actually think it's a pretty cool one, especially earlier on in the game when a lot of the deking attributes are low for some of these players. Early on in the game, you're going to have a much more difficult time when attributes are lower to do some of the dangles and some of the dekes that you may use quite often in previous NHLs, especially later on in the year. So this is one that I think is pretty cool, and I love the way it looks. When it comes to choosing your synergies, speed does kill. That's why Workhorse, Spark, and Wingman are all going to give you +2 to either speed or acceleration. One of the tweaks that we have this year is Wingman's going to give you +2 to speed. It used to be +2 to acceleration, so keep that in mind whenever you're building out your team. However, one of the large changes to the synergies this year is a fan favorite, Distributor. It used to give you +2 to speed. It has for as long as I can remember. However, this year it's changed to just +1 in acceleration, so there's no particular speed boost on that one. However, if you want +2 speed, you're gonna have to either use Fly the Zone or, as we mentioned before, Wingman. In the past, you would see some of the speed attributes on the fastest players like Connor McDavid or Nathan MacKinnon. However, this early on in the game, a lot of these synergies have now changed to reflect something that they may not be good at or have low statistics in. As you can see, McDavid's slap shot power, wrist shot power is pretty good, but it gets a nice bump as well as his body checking and strength with booming shot. For a slower player like Kevin Shattenkirk, Workhorse is going to come into play. Once we have this activated, he'll get a +2 boost to acceleration as well as balance, puck control, and +5 on strength. Speed kills early on in the game, so if I'm you, the first 4 that I'm looking to activate, or one or the other, is going to be either Wingman or Fly the Zone. Again, those are going to give you +2 to both speed. And on the flip side of that coin, I would look to activate either Workhorse or Spark. Another delineation between the two is where you're activating these. So for my defenseman, I wouldn't mind to activate Spark. Reason for that is you're going to get a +4 to body checking, especially as I mentioned early on in the game when stats are low. These synergies are going to make a much larger difference than they do later on in the game when everybody's stats are juiced up. So it's important that you build your team out correctly and that you have these activated on your guys. As you can see, I have 4 out of 5 activated in these. Not doing a great job, but for the purposes of this video, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. There have been a few other changes out there that I do want to make note of. 2 other ones that I like on my forwards are either going to be applesauce or well-rounded. Reason for well-rounded, you get +2 to wrist shot accuracy and agility, and you're also going to increase both your offensive and defensive awareness. So this is actually one of the sneaky better ones this year, in my opinion. And then in addition to that, applesauce is going to help you out with deking, passing, and wrist shot accuracy. So I like to have these activated on my forwards if possible. When it comes to your centers, one of the ones I look to activate here would be Thief. So it's going to give you +3 to faceoffs, defensive awareness, agility, slapshot power, and stick checking. It's a very well-rounded synergy, and this is one I look to activate on my centerman, especially with that +3 in the face-off category. Another one you could look at, which is actually a lot better than it used to be, +3 to face-offs, puck control, and stick checking, Heart and Soul. Again, this is one I would look to activate on a centerman. And lastly, for my defensemen, the 2 I would look to activate are either Bombarded or Booming Shot. Booming Shot's going to give you +4 to body checking, +2 to slap shot power, 4 to strength, and 2 to wrist shot power. And also, Bombard is going to give you 4 to discipline, +2 to both slapshot accuracy and slapshot power, and +4 to strength. So when you're looking to activate these, I'd be looking for defensemen that fit this category. So if you're looking for these players, you're trying to find who might be able to fit that criteria, whenever you go into the auction house, you can search by synergy style. Simply select the synergy you're looking for. Let's say I'm looking for players that are in the fly to zone category, and maybe I want that player to be a forward. In addition to that, I want to make sure that they make my team. So let's say that they're at least an 82 overall. And here are my selections. So I have Mitch Marner, Brock Besser, Evgeny Kuznetsov is actually a great example of this. As we can see, he does have fly the zone, and if we do activate that, he's going to be a 92 speed and 90 acceleration for just an 82 overall card. He's actually a pretty bargain buy. One of the defensemen I would look to target this year is the exciting young Moritz Seider, 6'4", 196 pounds. With booming shot, it bumps up his slap and wrist shot power there, and also his body checking is at 89 this early in the game for just an 82 overall card. He's a bargain. Sidney Crosby is an extremely well-rounded player. However, with Thief, as you can see here, it's going to bump up his face-offs to an 86. And obviously, this is a great card if you can go after it. Matthew Barzal is one of the best 83 overall cards in the game. Again, as I mentioned earlier, speed does kill. With well-rounded, it makes this card even more usable. It's going to bump up his wrist shot accuracy to an 87. Also +2 to his agility. And then if you combine that with ankle breaker, you have an extremely valuable 83 card on your hands. Another area, especially early on in the game, where you can take advantage of the synergy slots is in your backup goaltender. Now, on your gold players, typically, at least for right now, you're only going to have +1 whenever these synergies are activated. However, when we go back into the auction house here and we're looking at goalies, if we're going to silver goalies, you're going to see that all these silver players have +2. So for example, if I wanted to activate both well-rounded and spark, Beckett here would help me do that. I would be able to have a well-rounded and a spark synergy. So that's why you're seeing some of these goalies, especially silver players. If you're looking to either use them, put them in your lineup, or sell them if you get them tradable, they're going for a lot more than just your normal silver player. Last but not least, make sure that you're filling up your coaching slot. If you have a coach that's going to help you fulfill one of the synergies, make sure that you go ahead and put them in there. If you're looking to activate a synergy, what you can do also is change out one of your players here. You can go to your synergy style. Let's say I'm looking to activate Spark. I can come here, swap out this player, and Spark would be activated. So all these players are going to get a +2 to acceleration, balance, body checking, and durability. So hopefully that helps you guys out as you're doing your team building, especially on some of these power-up items or on your X factors. One thing to keep in mind also is that you can change out these synergies as you upgrade the player. So for example here, if I go to Dylan Larkin, I've already upgraded him. I could choose to swap out Bombarded or Booming Shot. So keep that in mind as you're building your team. You may not have to look for a different player. You may just simply have to make an adjustment to an existing one. That's it for me on this one, guys. If you liked the video, make sure you go ahead and click that like button. It greatly helps me out. And if you love NHL 23 content, would love to have you stick around here with me. Make sure you go ahead and click subscribe. Again, I'm Man Advantage, and I will see you guys next time.